So next very important topic is catch, finally throw, and left keyword is throws. So what exactly throws means? So suppose throws is nothing. Suppose if a method is capable of causing an exception, it does not handle. What happens? If you don't have any handle statement, means if you don't have any try catch statement, still your method is going to cause an exception in your program. If you don't have any try and catch block, then what happens? Of course, there is an exception will occur. It will leave you an error. Java type, no problem. If you have own custom type exception, what happens? If you don't try throw it, of course your application will be terminate there only. It don't know how to handle that. Since Java know only few exception, how it is going to handle. If you have any custom oriented exception, that if you have not mentioned any try catch block in our program and still exception arises, so how to handle that type of exceptions? So in order to handle those things, try catch block, and if still you want to handle any some exceptions that doesn't handle by type, that is does not handle during the compile time, we can handle those exceptions using throws. You can handle those. Throws keyword is used to handle checked exceptions. I already told you checked is nothing but during compile time, if any exception arises, if you don't handle it, you cannot at all compile your program. Okay. If you have any situation like a checked exceptions in your program while compiling it, so throws help us to handle those situations. Okay, we will handle it. Okay. So what exactly throws? Throws is also similar to try catch block. What we learn from try catch block, the same work that can be done by even throws. Okay. The situation we'll learn when we are going to use throw and when we are going to use try catch. Okay, so there is no much differences between throws and try catch block. What we done with try catch block, the same thing we can do using throws. Some when we use, if you have any situation with something like checked exceptions, of course then throws is a better solution. Okay, so let us learn some of the examples here. So how to write, sorry, before move on to come to, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to paste it here. I think everybody is okay. Everything is visible on the screen. I think like that. Okay. So see here, in order to handle try catch block, what we are using throw thing. Is it right? Try and catch block. Okay. Sorry, this is not that. Okay. So I'm going to run this. Okay, you should not divide by number by 0 because I have a error like 50. Okay, so see here, we know that whenever if an exception, okay, throw an object that can handle that exception. Is it right? Using a throw class we are doing. So before move on to this, first we'll learn what throw and throws. Then you will understand exactly what throws means. Okay, so for that, I'm going to stop this. I'll come to the screen. See, I already told nothing but it do exact thing what try do. Okay, so what exactly difference between throw and throws in Java? First we'll learn this. Okay, so normally whenever we are throwing an exception using throw, of course we need to throw it as an instances. See, we are going to throw it as an instances of some exception class. Whenever you are using throws, you should present the type of that exception with respect to method signature. Okay, with respect to method signature, exception should be present within a throw or within a method. These throws will be always present along with the method signatures. So it means that throws is used to declare an exception, which means it to try catch block. Whenever you are throwing, okay, before learning all that, first you'll know what is the exactly syntax of throw and throws. See, so throw, the syntax of throw is, we know that we need to pass a instances of an exception. Okay, so the syntax of throws is we need to pass an type of that exception class type along with the throws keyword. The next thing is, yes, I already told that whenever you are throwing an exception, you need to throw directly an exception instances. Okay, you need to throw. If you are using a throws to throw an exception, you need not to throw the exception directly. You need to mention what type of exception that may arises within the statements. Those type class definition you need to pass along with the method signature. So this is the syntaxes of using those. Okay, so you need not to throw anything inside in this. Okay, if you know statement is going to cause any arithmetic exception, directly you mention that class with throws. If you know any statement within your program, if it is going to cause array out of bound thing, then out of bound directly here. You need not to throw something like this. Okay, this is the exactly different. Throw means you need to pass, create an instances of exception class. Throws here we need to pass class name in a method signature. Within the method signature itself, you need to pass a classes name. Okay, you can throw one exception at a time, but you can handle multiple exceptions by declaring them using throws. You got it now? This throw will only handle arithmetic exception, but if your statements of any of this type, either arithmetic exception or null pointer exception, it can handle that. It can handle that. So that's the advantages. If you don't know, you can directly write generic here itself. It can handle all type of exceptions. Okay, all type example. Okay, here I have created one example. Okay, here I have a method called division. Here I have a method called division. Okay, fine. We know that if you divide any number a with 0, of course, if b equals to 0, then we know that this statement is going to cause an exception. Okay, so what I have done is I have written an arithmetic exception here. Okay, if I am going to divide this by 0, of course it will cause an error. First I'll pass without any exceptions. So my execution done perfectly. If I divide 15 by 1, of course my value is 15, no problem at all. Now suppose if I pass 0 to my method should know how to handle the situation, because I am not writing any try catch block here in this method. Is it right? I'm not writing any try catch block on this method. So how to handle the situation. So at least I have to throw some exception. Is it right? So what is, instead of throwing my exception, I directly using throws keyword here. And I know that maybe my one of my statement is going to cause this type of exception. So that's why I can mention any other types also, like as null pointer exception or array out of bound, like uh, array out of array index out of bounds index. INDX. Sorry, there is INDX out of bounds exception. Okay, so it means that I don't know any one of the statements. Either it may cause arithmetic exception or it may cause array out of bound exceptions. If anything like that, it will catch those exceptions directly and it will handle it. Okay, so this is what throws will do. If you want to throw, then you can throw only one exception of one. You cannot throw arithmetic exception and array bound in a single statement. Only you can throw instances. But if you're using throws, okay, irrespective of exception types, if you have to mention in a method signature, that is directly in a signature. So if your statement of this exception, it will handle it. If your statement having exception of this, it will handle it. Or if you have so many exceptions, it will handle it. So why even though the throws will do the same thing as like a try catch block, what is the necessary of using try catch block? Sorry, throws. That is our question. See, assume I have multiple program. Okay, so multiple methods. Each method, maybe there is a chances that they may cause even errors or exceptions. Okay, so division is one method. Assume I have one division one. Okay, one more method called division one. Okay, fine. Or one more method called division two. Okay, or one more method called division three. Okay, division three. See, what I do is here I will repeat these things. See, we have a division one division. Here it is a division one. Here it's a division two. Here it is a division three. Here what I do is to divide by one. Here I'm going to divide by. Here I'm going to divide by zero, or here I'm going to divide by four. See, as we learned it, whenever if any method is going to throw some exception, or if any methods have exception, we need to write try and catch block in each division in each method separately. Is it right? What we have learned, if you have each method its own try and catch block to handle the exception of that method. Okay, but here see, I am using throws. Okay, I have only one try and catch block irrespective of method types. Okay, I need not to have separate try catch block for each divisions. See each methods. So if I am not using throws means I should have try and catch block in each methods. This method is different, this method is different, this method is different, this method is different. For each different methods, I should have separate try and catch block to handle if any exception occurs. So what happens if I have 1,000 methods? If I have a five, if I am going to put a try and catch block in each methods, okay, of same type, okay, it will go on increase my source code lines. Is it right? It will, of course, a tedious job. To avoid that, we are going to use this throws. See, we will run this. See, I have only one try and catch block. Okay, one try and catch block, and I have only one try and catch block, and I have four different methods, and I don't have separate catch statement and try statement in each methods. Still, I can handle all the methods exceptions. So that's the advantages of using throws. See, I don't have any exception. It is easily handled. I don't have exception. Is it easily handled? I have an exception. Of course, the second method also handled using the same try and catch method. And fourth, I don't have. Let us put exception in all the methods. So for all the methods we have a, you should not divide number of, it means it, all the methods have an exception. If it is all the methods are not valid statements, it means I have exception in all my statements. You got it now? So that's how we can handle it. So that's the advantages of using throws. You can avoid of typing a lot of try and catch block in each method separately if you have a common type of exceptions that can be easily handled with throws. And in throws, you need not to mention any instances directly. If you know any of these classes of exception type that may occurs in your program, easily you mention here in the state. So thank you for this. Okay. Any doubts? Two members have doubts. I'll clear them. Abhishek, you have a doubt. Can you ask me what is your question? Please, can you switch on your mic and can you ask me what is your problem? What is your doubt? Okay. You also have a doubt. Can you switch on your mic and can you have a doubt? Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will solve here because it's a very important topic. So majority time when you are writing a program, we know that there are a lot of statements that is going to cause a error. If you are not written any ending things, of course your program will be ended with an error. It won't run at all, even though if you have it consists of other valid statements. That's why if you know if any statements that is going to cause an error, you need to know how to handle that, and you have to move on to rest other things. That's why exception handling is very important part when you are developing any application using Java. Okay, fine. Okay, till now we learned how to handle